Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm using the mic on my computer, which I've never used before. So hopefully everything works out okay. This is also kind of like a test. So welcome to anyone currently watching. Hi, everybody. The poor quality is from my laptop camera. I don't understand why they make it so low quality, even for a cheap laptop. Makes no sense to me, but hopefully you can hear me. Can everybody hear me okay? Tell me in the chat, yes, if you can hear me. Awesome. Okay. Good to see you guys. This is kind of spur of the moment, but was bored and had some time. I shouldn't say bored, but was here and had some time. Awesome. So where do you guys want to get started? Do you guys curious about anything spiritual related or Santa Muerte related? Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything on the table? Yes, you can buy your own Santa Muerte statue. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, you can absolutely buy your own. Because consider the people that are kind of located in the United States in which they don't know anybody around them that would be able to provide them with one. How do you make a favor with Santa Muerte? Oh, that's pretty simple. The simplest way to do that, if you don't have any implements or you don't have any tools or nothing like that, is you will just literally sit here and call out to her and tell her that your truth and tell her what's going on. Tell her that you're new to all this and just be 100% frank and honest with what's going on in your life. And that's how the people petitioned her back in the old days. I mean, they just called out and said, I need your help, or I need a favor. And of course, you have to be ready to reciprocate, though. Always keep that in mind. Day was good. Werewolf, paranormal werewolf. Day was good. Yes. They do, Etsy and eBay do have some great statues. Yeah. My favorite spiritual place in the valley, actually, I like going to the flea markets. I like going to all the yerberias in the valley, and I don't particularly favor one or over the other because each one has their own unique items that they sell that the other ones don't sell. Nice to see another 956er here, by the way. How do you feel about putting rhinestones on your statue as an offering? Hey, go for it. Especially if that's what you feel comfortable doing. I know people that put jewelry and put very expensive items up there. So yeah, why not? Do you recommend having a section for each color statue on your altar? I feel as if mine is getting crowded the more statues I get. Yeah, that tends to happen. We get overindulgent, or we buy a lot of statues and it starts to get crowded. But yeah, I have seen some people divide it up by color. Some people will have red in the living room, or they'll have black in a certain other portion of the house, like attic or something, or they'll have white in the living room or red. Some people have it in their bathroom because they have no other space, but they'll divide it by color. So thank you, Leo. I appreciate that. I appreciate the tip. Am I a curandera? I wish. That would be an honor. That takes a lot of training, though. But that would definitely be a dream come true. When I got my first statue of her, she came to me later that night. Full figure scared me. Yeah, Joelle, she can scare us at first. And it's just because we have to get over our own mortality, and we have to get over the imagery. She's definitely not for the faint of heart. Where did you get your first Santa Muerte statue? At the Pulga, at the flea market. I got my first few at the flea market here locally. Oh, thank you. The cemetery video, thank you. Oh yeah, the 3 Santa Muerte pyramids that glow in the dark. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. You're gonna have to charge them up pretty good. You can either put them in the sunlight, or do it, or make them glow with a flashlight. What kind of tequila? Well, me personally, I have had some success with just regular Jose Cuervo, the gold kind, but I've heard different people say different types. It's all dependent on what that person likes, if they like it at all, and what they feel comfortable putting on the altar. And sometimes they'll get like nagging feelings about certain types. So it depends on the person. My sister-in-law, can her speak to her? I still haven't figured out why I still haven't seen her, like in a dream or anything like that. Try to be patient. Sometimes the person, and I hate to say it like this, but sometimes the person is not quite ready yet, because she's a very shocking spirit. Like her presence, it can be very motherly and nurturing to some people, but it's always intense. So there's some preparation time prior to seeing her physically or having a dream or something like that, like some kind of encounter. There's like kind of like a training time prior to making her acquaintance. So just try to have some patience, and she'll come in due time. What are some common things I can put on the door for protection? Ooh, I have a whole video on that. I like to put aloe wrapped with a red string in front of the door. I have a machete. You can put a religious symbol of your choice. A lot of people will put like Saint Michael, or a cross, or San Benito, or they'll put like a horseshoe on the front of their door. But for protection, I would just go straight to the source and just put like blades or knives, or put something that represents like defense. I mean, use your imagination. Some people, a lot of people actually will put like a symbol of their preferred religion, but I just straight up put a machete. But the aloe plant, definitely, because the aloe plant lets you know when there's negative energies coming in. You've been wanting to go to the Pulga? I always want to go. I always want to go to the flea market. I use those chargeable outside lights to light my altar with. Yeah, those are the best. You can reuse them and reuse them over and over. How do you feel about some people comparing Santa Muerte to death deities? I feel a little insulted when people say she's just Oya or Hecate. Ooh. Well, for one, she's not Oya or Hecate. Simply because they have similarities does not mean that they are the same thing. People have to get it out of their head that similar means the same. Okay? And I use the example like, you're similar to your siblings, but it doesn't mean you're the same person. Okay? You have major differences. And how do I feel about it? It gets me ticked off just the same way it gets you ticked off, because I know the Hecatean energy, and it is completely separate from Santa Muerte, completely separate. And if anybody is worth their weight in knowing these spirits and these deities, and they say that they're well acquainted with them, they will know the difference. So that's how I see it. How can I help myself understand my dream with her? is my question. How do you understand your dream? Well, first and foremost, and thank you, by the way, guys. Thank you, Wajet. I appreciate that. How do you understand your dreams? You always go with your first impression. You can go online and look up like dream analysis, and you can ask your friends, you can do readings on it. But the very first impression you get is usually the best one. And I hate saying it because it's so generalized like that, because it's like, well, help me understand my dream because obviously I don't get it. It's too complex. Well, it's kind of like asking somebody else to have an experience for you. They didn't feel the emotions that you felt during your dream. They don't understand the same symbolism you do, and they won't understand the same significance that you do. So you are your best dream interpreter, honestly. I sometimes find it hard to spend time with her and connect. How do you keep yourself interested on a busy or hectic day? Honestly, Robert, we get distracted. Uh, it is supposed to be like a daily thing, but we're just people and we get distracted, and what can you do? It's bound to happen. So you just kind of take it as the day goes, and you try again tomorrow. So really, I'm gonna be honest with you. All this is what's happening. And not a lot of people are going to admit this to you, because to a lot of people, she is a very real spirit, and she is like, to them, like a whole separate entity apart from yourself, which she is. But when you have like an altar space, or you're trying to build this connection, when you're spending time, when you're thinking about her, when you're giving her offerings, when you're doing your prayers, when you're doing your petitions, you're feeding that energy. You're feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. And what happens when you stop feeding it? Well, it kind of dissipates a little, or gets hungry. It kind of dissolves a little bit. Think of it like a heat signature. You ever seen those heat signature cameras? Well, if a person puts their hand up against a wall and tries to see it with a heat signature camera, what happens when they pull their hand away? The heat dissipates. Think of your connection and your altar like that. Like, the more attention you give, the greater the connection. The less attention, you're going to have to work on building that connection again. So that's kind of how I see it. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. The aloe vera with the red string at the front door. I had a dream of bright red apples, and I knew it was her sending it to me. What does it mean? What does she want? Yeah, she loves apples. That's like one of the main offerings people give her. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for showing up. I see 43 of you. Wow. Wow, wow. Let me see. Much love to you. Santa Muerte set me free and got me out of a bad marriage. We love Jose Gold too. Jose Gold is a tequila. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm glad she got you out of that. I got so mad that they thought that Santa Muerte would harm my nephew, like my children. Like, that makes no sense to me, and it got me so upset. Yeah, I mean, we as people who admittedly follow Santa Muerte are gonna get ridiculed, regardless. Like, that's just all par for the course. It's just something we're gonna have to accept. You know. And we're going to get upset, but eventually, you know what, over time we're just going to be like, whatever, have your opinion. Opinions are like what? What are they like? They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. You can make an evil eye out of the polymer clay. Get some of those beaded necklaces from the Dollar Tree and use Walmart paint to paint your evil eye. Boom, there you go. Hands on. Putting in energy and spending time all at the same time. That is the core, and that is the basis of magic and manifestation. The will is there, the intention is there, and you're making it happen by putting that intention into what you're doing. That is exactly what it's all about. Making your own. That is awesome. I have 2 nails crossed with a red string. That'll work. I've never seen like 2 nails crossed, but I've seen railroad spikes, I've seen knives, I've seen scissors, machetes, spears, all kinds of stuff. Chicken feet, yeah. I've heard of the chicken feet hanging on the door handle. Yep. Brownsville, woo, Yasmin. Awesome. Hi from Harlingen. Hey, thank you, Butterfly. I was cursed by a powerful devotee practitioner 8 years ago before I became a devotee. She made herself known to me in 2018 and I invited her into my home in 2019. Is this common? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. It's totally. I mean, we're going to bump into asshole practitioners regardless. Us being in this community, they're a dime a dozen. We're bound to exchange words or agree to disagree or frown upon what other people are doing and how they're practicing, and we might exchange words from time to time. It's just human nature. But if you're asking about if her being a devotee prior to you being a devotee had some kind of interconnection, I've seen it happen that way. Yeah. Did you see the 1988 voodoo film The Serpent and the Rainbow? Yes, but I don't remember. I have to see like little clips to remember. I know it has nothing to do with Santa Muerte, but it's a pretty good classic horror film. Yeah, I did see it a couple of times, but man, I'm bad with memory, so I have to see like little clips of it. I'm learning so much. Awesome. Do you think insults from Christians about Santa Muerte would make her feel the same way I do? I have a lady at work who thinks I'm just praying to a statue that doesn't exist. Let her think that. Let her think that until her world falls apart. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Just let them, like they're going to do it regardless. And as long as they're not hurting you or they're not trying to say anything about your family or nothing like that, just ignore them. Let them, unless they're like trying to get you fired, then that's a different story. But Christians for the most part. There's good Christians, but there's also fearful Christians. They fear what they don't understand. So, and we're especially taught being raised as Christian people and Catholic people to fear death. So that's how we turn death evil, because we're fearful of our mortality. That's the Americanized way to be fearful of your mortality. So of course this concept is going to be something that they're going to deem as evil because they don't like it. They don't want to think of death. So, hey, Angelica, are you going to do the live candle altar again? Are you also doing reading cards as well? Ruby, my camera broke. I got too much ojo on my camera, man. Like my altar looks too badass. No, I'm kidding. I'm being stupid. But no, the camera broke, so we have to get another one. And you know what? I have the altar outside, and with the summer heat out there, those candles were burning. I will definitely say those candles were burning way too hot, way too quick, and it was just getting way too hot in that shed. It's a 6x6 shed or 6x8 shed, and it was like an oven in there. So maybe it was a good experience for the time, but I'm gonna have to make some plans in the future to see how I'm going to rectify that situation so that I can do it again. And as far as readings, I'm picky and choosy on the days, but if you want, you can message me on Instagram. Can you put a Santa Muerte in a dark place? Some people do, Alfredo. Some people do because they don't have much of an option. Normally we like to place her in a family room or in a family place to be part of the family. But some people do that when they don't have much of an option. If you ever wrote a book, I'd buy it. Oh, I'd just be regurgitating everything everybody else says. What are your thoughts on her popularity in the left-hand path? They seem to relate to her differently than is traditional. Yeah, that's true. And I would like to state my opinions, but at the same time, it wouldn't matter because they're going to do it anyway. And there's all this information being put out there. But you know what? This happens. This happens with anything. Something is is brought to the surface in its purest form, and people take it and they manipulate it into something totally different from what it originally was. This has happened with every religion, with every spirituality. That's why we don't understand, a lot of us Westerners, or at least, a lot of us in the United States don't understand the real concept of what karma is because we've taken it and manipulated it and turned it into something kind of along the lines of revenge. And that's not what it is. Well, they're doing the same thing with the Santa Muerte. I don't like that it's being turned into something diluted and dissolved, and that people are turning it into what they want. But then at the same time, like what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can argue about it with them all day long. They're still going to do what they're going to do. So, I'm rocking a hard place. How's everybody's day going? Seems to be going okay so far, Jesus. San Antonio, woo! What's up? What does it mean when you are at a cemetery but Santa Muerte bring you toward her and point to a coffin of you? Because my mom had a dream with her like that. Oh, I was about to say, oh my God. I'm glad that you said it was a dream. You're gonna have to ask her how she interpreted that. She could have interpreted that as a rite of passage. It could have been like a death omen. It could have been like something about you is gonna die. It could be like one of her enemies might be suffering some kind of fatality. I mean, it's hard to say. You have to ask her specifically how she felt when she had the dream. A welcome and her statue was moved 2 feet on the table. I heard of that. I heard of that happening. I made a mojo bag for my front door for protection a couple weeks ago. There you go. El Paso, woohoo! What's up? Is there anything about putting a picture of a deceased person that I love near Santa Muerte statue and ask her to help me connect to them? Is that a thing that I could do? What is best? Like working necromancy with her? I've heard of people doing it. It's not mentioned too much, but I have heard of people doing it. You can try it out and let us know. I've never tried it because with the ancestral thing, I keep that separate. Because honestly, and when I say ancestral, I don't mean, when I say ancestral, I mean like generations and generations and generations back. I don't mean like the immediate dead. The immediate dead in my family have their own also separate altar. So I don't know for sure that my ancestors, oh, actually I do know for sure that my ancestors wouldn't have, majority of them wouldn't have liked what I'm doing. So they wouldn't want to help me in that aspect. And I've already gotten slack. I've gotten dreams. I've gotten signs. I've gotten messages while I was channeling that they want nothing to do with involvement with her, and because they don't see her as death, they see her as Santa Muerte. Two completely different things to them. So you could try it out, give it a shot, see what happens. Just protect yourself. Just be careful, because when you're delving into the astral realm like that, you just got to be real careful. Protection is very important. People are quick to do things at times. Yeah. Any tarot card decks you recommend? Oh, Yasmin, of course, the Tarot de la Santa Muerte. It's on Amazon for $15. It's in Spanish. Hey, what's up, Chris? Were you always spiritual? If no, what brought you into spirituality? A breakup. It was just time. I was 30. Let me see. 2014. How long ago was that? 8 years ago? I can't even do math right now. Well, 2014 is when it started. I was like, what do I believe in? And then that's when it all started. You can go back in the videos and see the progression. I was even going atheist there for a second. What is the best way to deepen my connection? Spend time, talk, pray, dedicate your time and your energy. Just you can just be as simple as just sitting there thinking about her, talking to her. The fact that you're giving her your energy, no matter if you're giving offerings, like I said earlier, or doing prayers or doing rosary or doing ritual or whatever, the whole point is that your intention is to spend time and to be open. That is always the best thing you can do. And have patience, because things like this don't happen overnight. You have to be very patient with it sometimes. So if I remember correctly, you work with both Hecate and Santa Muerte. Personally, I've never worked with deities before her since I put up her altar. How is it different? Lady Blind Wolf. Well, definitely two ends of the spectrum there. With Hecate, I'm gonna be honest with you. With Hecate, it was more spiritual ascension and doing shadow work and stepping into a spirituality, not a religion. And not that Santa Muerte has anything to do with religion per se, but it was more of a free for all, and it was more about self empowerment and about getting over my fears. So what I would do basically was every dark moon, I would create for her a dumb supper. I would get eggs, I would get garlic, I would get I didn't have pomegranate, but when I did have pomegranate, I would put it on there. And I would get salt and onion and sometimes meat, and I would put it all on a black dish, and I would cover it in honey. And my husband would make homemade mead, which is a honey wine, and I would put that in a goblet. And on the dark moon, I would take it outside and offer it at a crossways, at a crossroads, and I would give thanks and tell her all my problems and my woes. And then she would come to me later in a dream, or I would see physical items, like I would see owls, or I would see black dogs, or I would see snakes, or sometimes spiders. And a lot of times I would actually see physical apparitions come to me in the bedroom. Like one time I saw and felt and heard an owl flap its wings and land on my headboard, and it was just staring at me. And this is the time when I actually had the most spiritual activity in the house, and when I was opening up more. I once saw this goat man standing over my husband with red eyes glaring at me, and the fact that I was not scared of them was comforting because I was getting over my fear. And I just saw all kinds of physical apparitions, and I knew that it was her. And she would come to me in dreams, and she would come to me in a way in which I thought was unique, but was actually pretty general to the people that had experienced her before. And there are certain characteristics about her physical qualities, or I should say spiritual, but physical qualities in the dream that are specific to her. And they're not what you see on the internet. Absolutely not what you see on the internet. This whole triple goddess thing, it was not like that, because that was not her original form. This goddess of witchcraft thing was not original to her. She was a home and hearth and protectress. So that's how I could differentiate the people that had actual experiences from the ones that didn't, that were superficial about it. So the difference between her and Santa Muerte is vast. Uh, for one feels cultural, and one feels very material, while the other one feels more like an ascended spirit, a spirit of cosmic relevance. And not that one is higher than the other, they're just different. And one feels more like she's on this plane, she's on our level, and she knows our wants and needs. So if you go and you complain to Hecate about your day, she's just gonna like either not hear you, or she's gonna roll her eyes, or scold you for complaining to her about something so minuscule and stupid. If it didn't have to do with your spiritual ascension and your self-empowerment, then don't even bother with her. And she would be absent a lot. She would come and she would go, she would come and she would go. Santa Muerte was more present and more there all the time, and you could go to her about your daily concerns, and you could go to her about your problems that you were having on a regular basis, and she would totally hear you out and try to help you resolve them materialistically. So that's how I see the difference. One's more about spiritual progress, and the other one's more about material progress. That's how I told the difference. So, and I might differ from other people. So, I cannot wait to see the video about Duende and Earth spirits. Oh, I can't wait to learn more about them. I have a friend who's really good at, who's really knowledgeable on them, but I have to get them to help me out with that. I'm not a Santa Muerte devotee, but I have an altar. It's not mine. It's in the living room, but I'm thinking of having one in my room. I've heard not to have the altar in your room. What do you think? Yes, I've made a video saying not to have it in the room, and the only reason why that is because a lot of people perform intimate acts in the room, and some people will argue this point to be like, well, she's death. She's seen us in this phase of our life, and she's seen us naked, and what about in the shower? She sees us all the time, yada yada yada. And it's like, yes, but the basis behind saying not to have it in the bedroom is coming from the Catholic value of the fact that doing intimate things in front of a saint is frowned upon, because that is a holy being, and you don't want it seeing your raw animalistic side. But at the same time, yes, we do show her our animalistic side, but the whole point is to not have disrespect. You don't want to be sitting there, like in front of the statue. Like, that's not what it's about, and that's a disrespect to her. So that's kind of the whole point behind don't have it in the bedroom. But if you have no choice, then you have no choice. Exactly, Brian. If you rent a room, then you rent a room. I feel like if she really didn't like the way the left-hand pathers were approaching her, she would just ignore them. Right. That's how you can tell, who's having real interaction and who's not. But either way, it's not a competition. I'm pretty sure she loves the attention. So, what are some of your favorite depictions of her in entertainment and social media? Well, I like that one. I don't like the most recent series. What was it? Penny Dreadful. That was totally not her. Um, honestly, I don't know. In movies, I've always only ever seen movies of her just as a statue. I don't really know. Pictures, I guess. That's all I can tell you. Um, yeah, it's mainly all just statues. And then in movies, they'll show the statues, and then they'll show like paranormal happenings, but they won't actually show like a Reaper figure. So I don't know. I don't know. I met her in LA, and she followed me back to South Dakota, so I built a life-size shrine in my backyard. Your channel has been very helpful. That's awesome. She's part of the Catholic religion, so what makes a difference? What do you mean? Um, I mean, yeah, she's got Catholic elements. Well, people chose to use Catholic elements in her veneration. About a week ago, I would randomly think about La Santa Muerte or pop into my head, and then about third day later, my sister told me she would get a random thought about her and would pop into her head. Yep, it happens that way. My mom started having dreams about her, and my mom's hardcore Catholic. Why was this? Oh, okay. Greetings from Aruba. Hey, what's up from Aruba? Thanks for saying that. That makes sense regarding the ancestors, maybe not being approving of Santa Muerte. Yeah, I mean, it's just my opinion, but it's just been my experience, and quite a few people have reported the same. When my Santa Muerte die out, what do I do with those ones? When your Santa Muerte die out, what do you do with those ones? I don't understand. You mean like candles? If you're talking about candles, you can throw the glass away. You can repurpose the glass, if that's what you're talking about. How do you feel about traditional red, white, and black colors? That's what I have, red, white, and black, and I also have a bone colored one. That's the ones I like. My wife told me as a kid she was always interested in altars, but the parents are old school Mexican and Catholic, and I always told her to stay away from stuff like that. Pretty sad. Well, Leo, it is what it is, and she's a grown up now, hopefully, and and she can do her own thing. Or the first one, your vids were the first ones to come across with regard to Santa Muerte. I first heard of her through Breaking Bad and thought it was maybe fiction, so I began investigating and found Santa Muerte was real. Absolutely. Yep. I once had a dream that my father, who has been passed away for some time, had brought me black puppies with very bright blue eyes. Oh yeah, that's how you know that they're puppies because they still have blue eyes. Babies. Hey, John Wayne. Hey man, it was all spur of the moment, man. So you work with Hecate as well. I haven't in about a year and a half or two. Just being honest. I haven't really felt the need. But once again, to be honest, I have felt pulled lately. It's something that I'm going to have to discuss. But it's not that I don't know how, it's just that I haven't. But it might be time again. I don't know. I started working with Santa Muerte. I love her so much. Thank you for your help. Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for your channel. Since La Nina Blanca first reached out to me last year, the wealth of information you have provided is an absolute blessing. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad. I pray every day to her, but everywhere I go, people mess with my altar when I'm gone. Is there anything I can do to protect my altar while away? Tell somebody off, man. Tell somebody off. Tell them what this is my personal stuff. You don't see me messing with your stuff. That's the way I would approach it at first. I hope you can't hear that in the background. My son's in the shower. Just tell them, back off, man. Like this is religious and this is my personal space. Fuck off. I mean, unless it's your parents, then don't say that. But just say, can you kindly respect my space the way I respect yours? Sometimes you just have to approach it like you would person to person. I mean, you don't have to resort to brujeria for everything. You don't have to resort to magic for everything. There are some things you got to handle as a person one-to-one, you know? Don't worry about the future. It comes soon enough. Yeah. May punch them. I'm kidding. Hey, what's up, Ruth? Love watching your videos. Very helpful. Thank you. How can you tell if she had a message to you? Well, you might get dreams, you might get like signs in your waking life that remind you of her, and the signs are different from everybody. You might have certain circumstances arise that are directly correlated with her. It's all dependent on the person, but you will know at that moment that it is meant for you to see or meant for you to experience, and that's how you know that she's getting a hold of you. It's very specific to the person. You can't say that it's just one thing or another, because different people will correlate different things to her, because to everybody she's different. To everybody she's kind of like personalized. I bought black robes, Santa Muerte. Does she get jealous? I have my Orishas in my home. I keep thinking of her, and I look at her at night in my bed. I feel safe with her. Yeah, a lot of people feel safe with her. Does she get jealous? That's what the consensus states, that she does get jealous. But I think that she's such an intense energy that she just requires a lot of energy. So that's what I've kind of evolved into thinking over time. I used to think she was jealous, but now I know that it's just she's such a heavily evolved spirit that she requires a lot of time and dedication. I didn't know I've already been working with her. She told me she came to me as a reaper because I didn't know anything about her. So she used something I'm familiar with. There you go. Yeah, she messes with lights. Did you ever get any clarity on your astrology chart progressions? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. A very cool subscriber messaged me and gave me my solar arcs and gave me a good rundown as to what I'm to expect in the near future, and I it was very insightful, and it did explain a lot. So thank you for asking. I had a pendant of her that a friend gave to me, but unfortunately I accidentally dropped it and it broke in half. Do I still keep her, or what do I do with her? Okay, Ruby, some people would tell you to throw it out, but because you dropped it, it was an accident. I think, like, if it broke on its own, it's one thing, right? Like, obviously it warded something off, but if you dropped it on accident, I would say, yeah, maybe if you want to mend it up and keep it, or maybe mend it up and put it on her altar, you know? So I know recently she's called me, but she's only called me to do certain things with her, like healing road opening, but I've never worked with deities before now. So this is all kind of new. Yeah, Lady Blind Wolf, it's a process. It's a process. You're having to learn something that takes a lifetime to learn in a short time period. So don't rush it. Take those lessons day by day. Take it slow. Believe me, I learned this the hard way. Take it very slow, because that's how you're going to learn the best. Have you read the book Magia Magia? Leo, come on. That's my primo. Alexis is my primo. Of course I read the book. I have 2 copies. I love that book. I recommend that book all the time. How do I know when to change out La Santa Muerte's water? I usually do every 3 to 5 days, something daily. I really can't tell. Yeah, every 3 days is cool. Or if you start to notice it murky or nasty or ugly, change it even sooner. I got my black statue from your shop today, and today is exactly 1 year I was confirmed she was contacting me. I've also had a horrible day. It started to get threatened by a woman on Etsy. What? Block her. Just block them. Don't let them get to you. Just, you can block people on Etsy. Just block them. Don't let them reach you that way. Are you high? No. I wish, John Wayne. I freaking wish. I can't get high. I wish I could. I'm just naturally stupid. And I just fought with my neighbor. You go give yourself a spiritual bath and try to wash away all that crap that's accumulated. The only place I could have her is in my room. She's right in front of me while I sleep. Hell yeah. There you go. Since starting to work with her, I don't work with anyone else other than Holy Trinity anymore. I think she does get jealous, but in like a caring way, like a strict mom. Yeah, I've heard that from some people. I told people what's up already, but when I went to grab it, she said to leave it. I have a new one. Hold on. They're scrolling too fast. I have a new one in the home, but I just wanted to know for future reference. Yeah, man, tell them off if you can. But also you can tell Santa Muerte, hey, if these people are messing with our stuff, our connection, show them what's up. I've asked her to do that before, and she came through in like 24 hours. If you start working with La Santa Muerte, can you ever stop? I mean, Josephine, you can stop if you want to. People do, but I wouldn't recommend it, because that's a heavy commitment. So if you ever think that you're gonna stop, you shouldn't start to begin with. That's my opinion. Well, guys, hold on just a second. Let me tell my son to be quiet. Okay, sorry. Oh my God. Anyway, let me see. I find that when I pray my rosary to her, I am overwhelmed with emotion, tears almost every time. Is this something you hear about? Yes. Yes. Especially La Blanca. I cry with her all the time. There's just something about it. Either that or when I'm doing the rosary, I start laughing. That is totally normal. Totally. What we consider normal. She was warning me since last night. I didn't know what she was talking about. And then this morning, the seller on Etsy threatened me saying she has my address. Just block them. And then if somebody threatens you like that, you call the police. You tell them that you have physical proof that somebody said that they're threatening you. Yeah, because that don't let that fly. Can I give her cigar, water, and flowers? Yes, yes, and yes. I had a dream about Santa Muerte and 1,000 I don't know how to say it, yokai, Japanese demons running past her. Well, she does roll with pretty much every type of spirit out there, so Draconian Wiccan, yeah, I can see that. Is it okay to have an altar in my closet? Ricky, I mean, if you have no other choice, you have no other choice. Most of us would say we would honestly prefer that they were in a more lively room, but some people can't have the altar as public, so does Santa Muerte teach lessons on death while a person's still alive? Absolutely, of course. I noticed that she plays with lights a lot. Yeah, for sure. I've seen it. I have a video of her doing it. Just saw your post on Facebook. Thought I'd say hi. Internet sucks. Too much to watch your live stuff. I'm sorry. So she called me to get 2 statues. One is black. One is 7 color. I got them from Chibaco store because I felt she wasn't being respected. What herbs should I use because she was not fixed? Well, The ones that you most commonly see is rice, mustard seeds, peony seeds. What else? You see like charms, like the elephant charm, the cruz de caravaca, a dragon. You see like Chinese coins, but as far as herbs, I would say use the herbs in accordance to the statue color. Like say if it's the red statue, you put rose petals down there, or put little rosebuds, or put whatever you need to use to fuel and amplify the statue. So you can the wonderful opportunity about that is you can make it custom for yourself. There's no like the herbs have to be this, like some people might say that there is, but what they really mean is these are the traditional herbs that were used at the bottom, or that used to put at the bottom of the statue. But if yours is empty, put what you want. It's not a religion. You can do what you want. How can I tell if La Santa Muerte likes my letters I write to her? I leave them inside her hand along with the scythe for about a month until the full moon comes, and then change and wait for the next full moon. Well, I mean, do you get like a sense of acceptance, or do you get like a tingly feeling, or do you get like what feels like a hug, or do you get good dreams? Like those are all things to look out for to know that she likes something. Yeah, she makes me cry heavy too. I got a beautiful statue of La Negra for my upcoming birthday. It was gifted to me from an ex-devotee. She didn't feel right to throw it away. I gave her a new home. Good. That's good. Can you give her candy? Of course. Alfredo, of course. She loves chocolate and candies. Are black roosters associated with Santa Muerte? Black roosters are associated in a lot of Mexican magic. Is there a book that you would recommend? Magia. Look it up on Amazon. Magia. Look it up on Amazon. Let me see. Also, you can take Alexis's course. Go to City Alchemist. I'll type it down here. Hold on. www.cityalchemist.co, and then search on his website the Santa Muerte course, the crash course. You'll love it. I just posted it in the comments. Not sure. Oh, let me see. Not sure who she is, but I know she's there. But she also knows I'm here. She's not ready. 846 years from now, give or take a year. Okay. Let me see. I'm reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and it is the most enlightening and interesting thing I've read. Do you have any book recommendations about death? I'm biased, so Tibetan Book of the Dead. Go for it. Anybody that's watching this, go check it out. I read that she can alter time with her hourglass. Is that true? Well, I haven't heard that, but I know that you probably already know that the hourglass is representative of our limited time on Earth, but anything's possible in the realm of magic. So, but I've never heard that one. I've had to pause my work with Santissima to do path workings with other spirits and systems, and I miss her. Oh, that sucks. I thought it was just my lights tweaking in my house. I never thought the Santa Muerte plays with the lights like that. Now I know. Yeah, totally. I kind of think of her like a female aspect of Saturn. I've heard that. Or some people say like Neptune. Hi, I hope you're having a good night. Thank you. I change her water and bring fresh offerings every Monday. Whenever she answers my prayers and every new moon. I change her clothes and clean her shrine and recite her rosary. That's good. I usually get a thank you type of feeling whenever I do the letters. Recently started offering coffee, and I can tell she likes it because the coffee level goes down at the end of the day. That's good. Let me pin this real quick to the top. There we go. Have you ever heard about the left-hand path side of the practice, La Negra, working with Baphomet to protect the altar rather than St. Michael? I have not heard of that, but I have heard of people working with the both spirits together. I mean, more specifically, Satan. I have heard of that. I have seen that. I know of people that do it, but I've never heard of them replacing Saint Michael with Baphomet. I love my Santísima Muerte. What sprays do you recommend when I bring my black one home to make the altar bigger? Oh, you can always use holy water. There's some frankincense and myrrh is a good one. Copal. If you can find sprays that have those components. If not, you can make your own mixture of protective herbs and waters and oils if you want to. Instead of a cigar, can I give her a blunt since I don't smoke tobacco and traditionally you would blow smoke towards her? Okay, now the cigar is used because of the tobacco. The tobacco is seen as a purifying substance, a purifying leaf. That's why they use tobacco. That's why they use cigarettes, because the tobacco itself is sacred and it's a cleansing herb. So it's not simply because it's an offering to give because it's like something to smoke. That's a big misunderstanding. But yes, you can give her a blunt. She likes that. But I wouldn't use it for cleansing. But if you want to just blow it towards her, yeah, that's cool. Do you feel like approaching her in the Aztec form differently than her typical Roman Catholic robe form? Example, would you still drape her Aztec form with a Catholic rosary or keep her pre-Hispanic? Yeah, I think, Chris, I think I would keep them separate. There's just something about it. I would keep it separate. That's me, though. I quit smoking cigarettes 8 months ago. I always share my joint and blunt with her. She seems to appreciate it. Yep, she does. I can't find anything on why red, black, and white in her traditional colors. Can you please explain why? Dorcha, I'm not well versed in all types of magic, and I'm not well versed on all spiritualities. But red, black, and white is a common theme because they represent phases, they represent cycles, they represent seasons, they represent transitions. So they can represent the spirit, the material, and the death. They can represent, the light, the dark, and the in between. I mean, they're very deep rooted in old, in pre Christianization type of symbology. Like you can see the Native American medicine wheel, and it has red, black, white, and yellow. Well, that's one example of how significant and for how long these colors have been significant and what they represent. I mean, they're all they can be seen as the directions, they can be seen as the different winds, but they're all usually seen as representative of the entire cycle: existence, non-existence, material life. It depends on who you ask. But like with her case, red, black, and white is white would be like the more spiritual, the highly ascended, more celestial, the more holy, you could say. The red, definitely the more material, this level of existence, our material life, and the things that we require on this material world. And then the black could be the actual death and transition into the void or into the cosmic space or whatever you believe in, and the more raw side of our existence, kind of like the sub-level existence or the anti-material existence, I guess you could say. It depends who you ask. Bye, John. The left-hand path has made me more accepting towards negative entity, negative emotions, and negative tendencies. There you go. I've been following you for about 2 years, and you have helped me on a lot. I just wanted to let you know that you're amazing. She's very proud of you. Aw, thank you. What's your opinion on using La Virgen as an amparo rather than Michael? Angel Echo, I don't know. Try it out and let us know. I haven't thought of it. I hadn't thought to do that. Since when you're using amparo, you're basically like, it's almost kind of like a filter. So, or it's like a level in between, in this case anyway. And so you need one that's going to be very, very, very powerful, and one that's kind of like a fighter, in this case, one that's going to protect, one's going to filter out. So one that's docile and one that's not incapable, but one that's like not a fighter, more of a lover type of thing. I don't know how well that would work. I don't know. That's just kind of like the theory. That's how I understand it. Good night. Good night. Glad despite a 17-hour time difference, I managed to catch a live. Hope Chanel and everyone in this chat has a wonderful weekend. God bless you all, and may Santa Muerte keep us safe. Thank you. I have heard that people who get a tattoo of her and leave the practice, she will take that tattoo back as it will fade, or you will lose a body part or skin. Thoughts? Oh my God, I haven't heard that one. But I do know, or rather I can say I have seen that when they leave, whatever they asked for gets taken away. So I can say that. I had a dream of her, and it was so intense and weird. It was her in a pyramid in her yellow robe, and my mom was sitting down with her praying, but my mom doesn't believe in her. What does that mean? Reaper, what did it mean to you? I really honestly couldn't tell you. I had to have been there with you in your dream to tell you, but it sounds endearing, for sure. It sounds positive. Also, if you have other deities' images on your body and become devoted to her, will she remove them? This happened to me with my Anubis tattoo. For real? I think that's a good question. Wow. I had never heard of that. That's one to mull over. Is the black for protection? Yes. I know my mom has been going through it a lot lately, and I don't know what I should do. Is it fine to ask La Santa Muerte to help my loved ones, even if they don't believe in her? Absolutely. Of course. Starting my spiritual journey, I pushed away my Catholic side, but later I came to not embrace it, but kind of embrace it. Yeah, me too. We kind of had no choice, huh? I actually started a Facebook group dedicated to La Santa Muerte, or for my followers. I felt the pull to do that. I'm not doing the novena yet because I'm still working on being consistent. That's good. Thank you for making sense. Thank you. That made sense. Sorry. Do La Virgen de Guadalupe and Santísima Muerte like each other? I thought they would be understanding of one another since I've seen them as two sides of the same coin. Well, I mean, a lot of people have the Virgin Mary on the same altar as a Santa Muerte. I think that two sides of the same coin, I don't know. I don't know if they're two sides to the same coin. That, I mean, I know that that's not what you asked, but I've seen her on the altar with her, with each other. So do they like each other? I mean, I haven't seen anybody say that there's any issues. Give me just a second, guys. Hold on. Keeps sneezing in there. Okay. I'm feeling my mortality and illness has brought me to ponder her, and hopefully she will help me with a peaceful death. Oh, I'm sorry that, I mean, it's unfortunate that, that I don't even have the words. It's an unfortunate experience that we have to deal with our own mortality, but it's something that we all have to do. And I think that what makes it more difficult for us is that we don't think about it while we're alive, or while we're not struggling. We don't make plans. We don't accept it. And that's what makes it even more difficult for us. So it's a good thing that you think about it, and it's a positive thing that you're accepting, because that's how our ancestors were. They just knew that it was just part of our existence. My mom has been thinking of being a devotee. I'm excited. Good. That's awesome. Could I use 2 pennies as a form of divination? Yep. Hello, Janelle. Hey, what's up, Megan? Thank you for the clarification. No problem. Guadalupe is often placed on Santa Muerte's traditional altar because she is considered her spiritual sister, mother of life. Thank you. Death does not scare me. That's good. Yeah, Madam Mojo. I know that I was told that my great aunt had all the saints and all the Catholic pantheon, I guess you could call it, all on the same altar. Back in the day. Back in the day, they had no problem. But for one, they were limited on space. Two, um, there weren't these rules. So this one's gonna fight with this one, and this one's gonna, blah 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 blah. It hadn't evolved to that point yet. So it has evolved. It might have evolved to that point now. It just depends on who you talk to. Um, I see no problem putting them together on the same altar because one is not going to conflict with the other, in my opinion. I just think of it kind of like as two energies or two substances, and in this case, one would not be gas and the other be a flame. It would be more like, one would be roses and the other one would be, I don't know, money. I don't know. I'm giving bad examples, but you get what I'm saying. The energies are not conflicting. So I can see how it wouldn't be an issue. Why did she come to you at 62? I mean, well, Ruth, I don't know. I don't know. My mom is 69 and she barely had her first dream of her. Who's to say? Going through a transition in life. Something was dying off, so something else could reemerge. What are your favorite herbs? Rue. Rue. I like as far as like what herbs do I like? I mean, well, I like certain plants. I like aloe. I like um lilies. But herbs, rue is the first one I think of. Rosemary. Those are my favorite ones. I admire your strength. Someone said that when a person accepts death, they no longer fear it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, I'm sorry. It's been an hour. I have to get my son out of the shower. He's been in there for over an hour. I'm sure the water is cold. But thank you guys for joining me, especially in such short notice. But I got to get going. If you, I'm gonna make sure that this is posted publicly. So if you have any questions after you watch this stream, just leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to approve them and see if we can answer them. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming watching. Check out City Alchemist in the pinned comment there. He has courses and he also wrote the book. Him and his partner Eric wrote the book Magia Magia. Very good book. Highly recommend. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Have a peaceful sleep and we'll see you soon.